Mavericks 137-131. They'll play 7 of their final 10 games at Chase Center. They stay on track to hang with the Portland Trail Blazers and the LA Clippers. However, that was one costly victory as our prayers go out to Moses Moody, as you guys all saw in overtime. We're not going to show the replay there. He was playing so well after missing 10 consecutive games with the sprained right wrist. And you saw that play in the open court, and obviously our thoughts are with Moses Moody here as the Warriors do get the W, but obviously a costly one as we welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors Postgame Live. Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. We saw it right away on a great play against Cooper Flagg, picking his pocket, wide open breakaway dunk, and you saw the rest.
Yeah, Moses Moody, incredible game. First game back after missing a significant amount of time with a broken wrist. And this game is not won without Moses and without Kristaps Porzingis. Both of them first games back. And, man, just the energy of the Warriors the whole game long. The story of the first half was turnovers. They fixed it a little bit in the second half. The Warriors had to win this game twice. Yeah. And in overtime, I thought the Warriors showed more energy, more effort. But Moses Moody, GP2, I thought LJ Cryer and all these guys, they came out to play. The bench played well. And Moses Moody's effort, just the last, you get a steal, you go make a layup, and the game's over. And that moment, an injury happens, and he has to get to. It's never good when you get taken off the court in a stretcher.
Yeah, just heartbreaking for Moses Moody. He played so well, it just showed how hard he worked when he was recovering from his injury. And to see that's just heartbreaking because we all know he's such a good guy, such a hard worker. The Warriors need him.
Yep.
You know, they need his shooting, so prayers go out to him. But the Warriors, it's a tough game. The sixth game, end of the road trip where you've had a really tough time closing game. So they've really, a lot of impressive things went on. 49 rebounds, plus 15 on second chance points, 39 assists, 17 made threes. So they did a lot of good things. But as Festus said, I thought Moses Moody set the tone. Mm-hmm. He just moving so well, aggressive. He looked really good, like he was ready to go on a nice spurt here towards the end of the season. So, like I said, just unfortunate and nothing but prayers up for him and good luck.
Yeah, 23 points for Moses Moody, a team high, pardon me. 9 players with the Golden State Warriors in double figures. But Moses Moody, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 of 20 from the floor, 4 of 11 from the three-point line, and we pick it up in overtime. As the Warriors, look, the Mavericks made a great comeback there. To force the game in overtime. Now the Warriors did it in with their own miscues, turnovers down the stretch. But you see here, Moses Moody, nice shot fake, great dive.
Great find.
And Gary Payton II, Fezzi, has been playing so well, 17 points tonight off that bench, 8 of 8 from the floor. And there it is right there. Oh, I said we weren't going to show the replay, but there it is. And
a beautiful defensive play. I mean, they made it hard for Cooper Flagg. I mean, between Will Richard, Moses Moody, they were picking his pocket all night long. And just, it says it all right there. Pods and Steph's reaction there.
Had about 58 seconds left in the overtime. The Warriors are able to dribble the clock out, get a good win for them, 137-131. The Mavericks have now lost 12 consecutive home games. The Warriors, they lost 8 of their last 9, so they get a much-needed win. But again, they're 4 games under 500 now. They started this road trip 2 games under 500, so they lost some ground in the Western Conference standings. But what we discussed on the pregame show, Fezzi, was how they can get reinforcements back and maybe make a run into playing a tournament and, of course, try to make some noise in the playoffs if they were to advance. Well, they needed Moses Moody. We know they need Stephen Curry and Al Horford, but it doesn't look like Moses Moody is going to come back anytime soon. It's such a tough break for a guy who's 23, coming into his own, finally getting minutes with the Warriors. Remember, his first few years, he didn't know when he was going to play. Is he going to start? Is he going to come off the bench? Well, ever since Jimmy Butler was traded from Miami, he stabilized that starting unit. He was guarding 4s. He was in the corner shooting 3s. And then this season, really just took another leap in his career. And again, suffering an injury in overtime and getting carted off there at American Airlines Arena, that's a tough break for Mo.
Whatever you've asked from Moses Moody this year, you've gotten even more. You asked him to come off the bench, he'll come off the bench and get you stops and hit threes. You asked him to be a starter when Steph and Jimmy went down, he took his numbers to another level. Double digits in the last 20 of 21 games that he played. And Moses tonight was really the big difference maker. The Warriors have been struggling with scoring. The past couple games, as a matter of fact, this whole road trip, they've struggled scoring the basketball. And what you saw with Moses, he's a floor spacer. He hits threes at a 40% clip. And his ability to decide, like whenever he shot fakes, the defense has to react because he's 40% shooter. He drives down. You saw him great pass to GP2 there in overtime, creating plays, making plays, just getting better as a player as the season goes along. You hate to see that for a young player, especially a guy who works as hard as Moses Moody. Just my thoughts and prayers go out to him.
Yeah, since the All-Star break, at the All-Star break, the Warriors were 12th in the league in three-point percentage. Now, it's not just Moses Moody, but they've gone down to 27th at 33%. And we've shown a lot of times post-game, and this is without Jimmy Butler, without Steph's gravity, still a lot of wide-open shots. Moses Moody doesn't miss those wide-open shots. He was 4 for 11 tonight from three, and most of them contested. As Fessa said, he's going to knock shots down, but as importantly, because you have to guard him, he's going to open up driving lanes for the guys that don't shoot it well. Collapsed the defense. It was a magnificent, nice little bounce pass to GP2. That was a huge play because the previous play, he knocked down a three-point shot. They closed out hard to him, one dribble into the paint, made the right play. So they've missed him prior to tonight, came back tonight, played a great game, looked wonderful, looked like he was in great shape. But they're going to miss him moving forward as well.
And to be able to rally around Moses Moody and win that basketball game would have been totally understandable if the Warriors blew a 5-point lead in the last 58 seconds there. To come out of there with the win, obviously it's going to be a somber flight home as they have 7 of the next 10 at home. But you see that happen to your teammate in the last minute and everything kind of goes out the window, right?
There's a lot of thoughts that go through your mind when you see a teammate get injured. You could be distracted from the game. And you got to think, the Warriors are probably kicking themselves for being in that position in the first place. You're up, I think, up 5 with 2 minutes left or something like that.
Up 8 with 3:40 left in the fourth.
Up 8 with 3:40 left. And with that being the case, I think, turnovers, tough shots, and really unforced turnovers. This is a game where you have the ball, and I think there was a play towards the end of the game where Draymond has the ball, he tries to pass it, it feels like it gets deflected,
How do you win a game that feels like a celebration and a gut punch at the exact same time? Seriously, how does that even happen? Because that's exactly what Warriors fans just lived through in Dallas. Golden State beat the Mavericks 137-131 in overtime, closed the road trip with a huge win, got back to 34-38, and had 8 different players score in double figures. But the whole night changed emotionally when Moses Moody went down late. So yeah, this was a win, a real one, a needed one, a gritty one. But man, it also came with heartbreak. And before we even get to the emotion of the ending, let's talk basketball, because the Warriors earned this one. Dallas was up 10 at halftime. The Mavericks had the crowd, they had momentum, and Golden State looked like it might be heading toward another frustrating night. But then the Warriors punched back in the second half. They flipped the game with pressure, activity, and enough shot making to keep coming. This game was chaotic, sloppy, full of turnovers on both sides, but in that chaos, the Warriors found a way to stay mentally tougher, especially once it got to overtime. That matters. That says something about the group. Now let's talk about the guys who carried it. Moses Moody had 23 points in his return after missing 10 games. Kristaps Porzingis added 22. Brandon Podziemski gave you 20. Draymond Green also had 23. 8 guys in double figures. Yeah, that's not one star dragging everybody else. That's a team win. That's a roster digging deep. That's collective response. And if you're looking for a sign of life in this season, that's one of the biggest signs you can ask for, when the stars are missing and the team still finds enough offense, enough connectivity, enough resilience to win on the road in overtime. And let me say this too, this wasn't some empty win over a team sleepwalking. Dallas fought. Cooper Flagg went for 32. The Mavericks were trying to protect home court after already dropping another overtime game 2 nights earlier, but the Warriors stayed on them, and when the overtime hit, Golden State surged while Dallas looked tired. That's composure, that's stamina, that's execution. For a team that has taken so many hits lately, that kind of finish feels huge. Then came the moment nobody wanted. Moody, who had played such a big role in the win, went down hard on a breakaway dunk attempt late in overtime. He had to be stretched off. The scene was emotional, and Steve Kerr's reaction told you how serious everyone feared it might be. Teammates surrounded him, the crowd responded, and suddenly the win felt smaller than the human moment. That's the reality. Basketball stops feeling like basketball when a player you care about is in that kind of pain. But here's why I'm still ending this with a favorable Warriors conclusion. This team could have folded tonight, easily. Steph is still out, the road trip has been rough, the season has been unstable, and yet Golden State fought back from a halftime deficit, got major contributions across the rotation, won in overtime, and showed again that there is still real competitive life in this group. If they can carry this kind of togetherness forward, and if they get any good news on Steph in the near future, there is still something here worth watching, worth believing in, worth riding with. The win counts, the response counts, the fight absolutely counts. Now, I want to hear from you. How are you processing this one? More encouraged by the overtime win or more shaken by the Moody injury? Drop your take in the comments, hit like, and subscribe if you're riding with Dub Nation through every crazy twist of this season.